Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 308, the WBC pool party. As you can see, I'm all decked out, ready to break the pools down. I'm Nick. We got Harrison tonight. How are we doing tonight, Harrison?
Fantastic, Nick. I didn't quite get into full pool the full pool experience there, but I'm enjoying yours.
That's good because we all know in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, what that pool outfit looks like. So let's not have that for the viewers.
It's the Canadian banana hammock, but so we're
Oh, it's
gonna
bad.
we're gonna avoid that.
Yeah. So, yes, absolutely. So, we are going to break down all the WBC pools and some other fun stuff tonight. But first, make sure that you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links on the tops of all of our socials in our link tree. So if you do any shopping with these companies, please use our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. You search Rounding Third Baseball. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers, all of that stuff. Just another great way to support us and to get our name out there. And finally, we are streaming over on Patreon. We are looking to do more exclusive stuff there as they will support us. So check us out over there. It's a great way for you guys to support us too and help fund the show so we can bring the content to you. All right. World Baseball Classic, Harrison. What has been your first initial reaction to the game so far?
Initial reaction is I think the pools are playing out pretty much as we thought, but I do think that there's been a lot more competition than I expected. I thought there'd be a ton of just landslide outcomes. And there's been quite a few close games. I mean, we saw Japan today just barely sneak by Australia in a game that honestly Australia could have won. And I didn't think we'd see some of that. I thought there'd be a ton of blowouts, and we're actually seeing some good baseball.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen our fair share of blowouts. Don't get us wrong, but there has been
Yep.
some great games too. But even in the blowouts, like if the other team just controlled the walks, but we'll get
Well,
into that in more
well,
detail later. But
and a lot of those games they were close games for 4 or 5 innings. The blowouts came later in
right,
the game as you got deeper into their pitching staffs, and many of these teams just don't have depth in their pitching staff. And that's what you see.
yep, 1000%. All right, so let's dive into some of the top stories, if you will. Ozzy Albies yesterday for the Netherlands, first walk-off homer in WBC history, which I thought was crazy that we haven't had a walk-off homer in WBC history till this point. That stat kind of shocked me.
Yeah, I assume there had to have been at least a couple walk-offs in all the history of this thing, but apparently not.
Nope. And then let's just fast forward about a half hour, and Daryl Hernandez for Puerto Rico hits one off in extra innings, second walk-off homer in WBC history in the same day. So pretty cool moment, and it just shows that like how crazy baseball can be. Like you don't have a moment for what has it been 20 years of the WBC, and then all of a sudden it's like two within 15 minutes of each other. Like it's pretty crazy how that stuff happens.
So weird.
Yeah. Flat Cheese says initial reaction. There are only 4 actual competitors: US, Dominican, Puerto Rico, and Japan. I I don't know, man. I would put Venezuela in there. They look good. Mexico looks good. There's a couple other teams too. We'll get into it when we get into the pool section. But there's some teams, and Matthew says I'm a little surprised by how good Japan looks. I mean, I'm not really surprised. I mean, Japan's always there, but again, we will get into them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we knew Japan would be a juggernaut. They've also had a pretty soft pool to play through too, so that helps.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to the first USA game. We were live watching this one Friday night. It was a walk party against Brazil. 17 walks handed out by Brazil pitching. We looked it up. The MLB record was 19 given up by one team in a single game. So not far off from the record. USA didn't really hit that well because they didn't really have to. I mean, there was we had a couple hits, couple bombs in there, but 17 walks, they didn't really have much to swing at anyways.
No. And so many of those walks were just non-competitive at bats. It was, you'd get to a 2-0, 3-0 count, like pitches nowhere near the strike zone. A couple guys got plunked on top of that. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't competitive. It wasn't fun to watch it in some cases too. It was just like put another coin in the merry-go-round. And I
Yeah.
do think you saw Team USA get a little bit flat because they weren't even seeing anything to hit. Like they were just standing there with the bat on their shoulder with nothing to do.
Right. Yeah. So kind of a boring game, if you will. And then we turn the page and we have Great Britain last night. Great Britain hung around for a little bit. Nate Eaton with a first pitch home run off Tarek Skubal. Eaton had the only 3 hits for Great Britain in that game. Otherwise than that, Great Britain went hitless.
Yeah. Boston Red Sox, Nate Eaton, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. So
and he absolutely ambushed Skubal right out of the gate. I mean, Skubal's like, first pitch, get me over fastball, let's get the game going. And Eaton's like, nope,
yep.
no freebies here, bud.
Yeah. So I mean, last night turned into kind of a slugfest for USA. Kyle Schwarber put one into the upper tank in Houston. I mean, that thing was crushed.
Yeah.
But for me, the most impressive one was Aaron Judge's single off the Crawford boxes. That thing had to have been 130 miles an hour. Took out a tile. I mean, just absolute laser. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny watching. I think it was Schwarber had like, he took the turnaround second, had to like put on the brakes, dive back into second base. Aaron Judge barely got a chance to round first base before that ball was coming back in already. It was unreal how hard that ball was hit.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh, that was cool to see Jose Contreras' son, the 17-year-old kid, throw against and then throw a 97 in WBC. It saws off Aaron Judge. I don't think I've ever seen somebody saw off Aaron Judge. Judge looked shocked after he got sawed off. Grounds into a double play, but 17 years old. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Did you see Judge's comments after the game about the kid?
No.
They asked him, what do you think about a 17-year-old coming into WBC and pitching like he did with the velocity? And Aaron Judge just kind of smiled and goes, I wasn't doing that at 17. He's like, he had incredible poise, incredible stuff. Like there's a bright future for that kid because he got right into Aaron Judge's kitchen, sawed the bat off, got really soft contact. And that doesn't happen very often, like you said.
No, that was pretty insane. But any other takeaways from the US in these first 2 games? I know they were kind of lopsided, but do you have any other kind of takeaways from the US and how they look?
I think the major takeaways for me is the pitching is what we thought it was. The offense, I think, has been, I would say, underwhelming to this point. They've done enough. 17 walks. You get 17 walks, you think you're going to score like 15 runs against Brazil. They didn't really capitalize on that. The offense has been okay. I've not been super impressed by what they brought at the plate so far. But defensively good. The pitching is as advertised. And I still think they are, top 1 or 2.
Yeah, agree. I think my one worry, we'll probably dive deeper into it a little bit, is the slow starts. We're not scoring until the 5th, 6th inning. And if you get behind a Japan, you get behind a Dominican Republic, it's an uphill battle once you get behind these teams. But I think the coolest thing for me as a baseball fan with these is I don't get to root for Aaron Judge, right? I'm a Red Sox fan. When do I get to root for Aaron Judge? I mean, I can appreciate and respect the hell out of the player he is. And we do that quite often on this show. Mm-hmm. But to actually cheer for the guy and hope he does well is pretty cool. It brings all the fans together to root for one solid team, no matter what team they on, because they are on the same team right now. It's pretty cool. I love that aspect of this whole thing.
Yeah, it is. It is cool. It's guys that you don't normally get a chance to see often, or even like you said, kind of support. It is pretty cool.
Yeah,
And I think more importantly, like to your point about the slow starts, the Team USA is facing guys that are, maybe minor leaguers, maybe former minor leaguers. Like they have not faced like a good pitching staff yet, and they're not producing a lot. Like it took 17 walks to
yeah,
get them to be
right,
able to score 9 runs against the Great Britain team that ran out guys that in many cases were never even minor leaguers.
right.
It's not been pretty.
Yeah, Matthew, don't say that out loud in a pub in Boston.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think they're playing us in a pub in Boston, so I think I'm safe. And I'm down here in North
maybe.
Carolina, so yeah, maybe. Um, yeah, this is the only time I get to root for Harper and Schwarber. Feels dirty. Yeah,
I
Bryce
mean,
Harper, I didn't put that slide in here, but Bryce Harper has got some he needs to I'm going to say it, he needs to zip it. The comments about the Olympics and not it just seems like he's not in this. I don't know if you've seen those comments, Harrison.
I have. I mean, honestly, like to be totally honest, like I don't pay any attention to Bryce Harper anymore. Anyways, his rants are usually poorly timed and ill-informed. I don't think he's a great ambassador for the game. I don't think he's a great ambassador for Major League Baseball. I think he's an incredibly selfish, immature player, and I just don't pay much attention to him anyways. And he continues to do stuff just like this, where he takes the focus away from what he takes the focus away from the main thing, and he doesn't let the
Right,
main thing just be the main thing. He's got to find some
right.
way to make it something else, and also inject himself back into the conversation. Like I can't, I can't, I can't
Yeah.
follow him too closely.
Yeah, I'm with you with the whole Manfred stuff last summer and then now this. It's like, dude, just enjoy the moment for what it is.
Yeah,
Like,
for
and
whatever
you
reason
haven't
he can't
even
do it.
and you haven't done anything. Like
Right?
y- you've literally done nothing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm over his antics for sure. But all right. So on the tails of US, Tarek Skubal hasn't ruled out making another start here. So
Not
asked
only that, not
oh
only that, Nick, but he was at the USA practice today. He hasn't even gone back to camp yet.
okay. So his quotes and stuff, I have it here. He said he wasn't let me pull up the quote here for sure. I didn't expect these types of emotions to run through my brain or my thoughts to differ. I was committed to making a start and getting back to camp. Things have changed, obviously. I'm going to have some conversations and try to figure out a plan. Now, yeah, I don't think he understood the weight and the magnitude of this. And I think people can talk it up and people can, tell all the good things about the WBC, but until you're in it, you can't fully understand how much that means to the players and what kind of atmosphere that is. I mean, Scooble's around the best players in the game, in the entire MLB from the US, right? He's getting
Yep.
so much out of that than just going back to Tigers camp. He's learning from other guys. I mean, which is dangerous as well because he's already one of the top guys in the game. But
Yeah.
like you bounce ideas off each other, like the camaraderie. Like yeah, absolutely. I can see it. I can see getting wrapped up in the moment and being like, yeah, man, I want to make sure that US wins, and I know I'm a big part of that.
Well, and he would line up to be the starter potentially in a championship game. The way the schedule rolls out, he
Right.
would potentially, it would be him and McLean slated to split that championship game as the two headliners. So I think that's also a reality that hit him. But I saw an interesting comment from Kike Hernandez today, who basically said, I've been to 5 World Series. The WBC is different. I'll take the
Yeah.
WBC over a World Series any day. And he's not even playing. Kike is not even playing in the WBC, but he's still hanging out with Team Puerto Rico because it
Right.
means that much to him to be involved in it. And a lot of guys have come out and said similar things. Wearing the flag of my country is different. Like I feel like a lot of these guys, you talk about Team USA, but like when you get there and get in the atmosphere and like put the jersey on, I think these guys feel differently, realizing how much bigger than baseball it is.
Yeah, this is the true World Series. Let's like the
Yep.
World Series, if you
Right.
will. Like,
Right.
I mean, the World Series is like, okay, it's the best teams in America and one in Canada. Like, that's not a world quote unquote series. It's just
No.
what it's called for whatever reason. Still don't really understand that. But yeah, this is the true World Series. This is the best countries in the world, all their best players. Well, minus Puerto Rico. Sorry about that. But like it is. This is the true World Series, and these guys can sense it. They can feel it. It's a different atmosphere.
Yeah. And we've heard so many guys come out and just say that, just how different it is, the feeling, the respect they have, the pride they have, and just the environment. Like these games, the stadiums are full, they're loud. You've got, they're hearing their native language a lot, which many of these Major League Baseball guys, they don't hear as much anymore.
Right.
They're playing in the United States. They're not hearing as much as they usually do. It's the anthems, the songs, the chants. It's a totally different environment. Like, and even like when you're watching a game, just listen for a few minutes. Like the sound of the game is different because you've got an incredibly different kind of fan base watching this.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the Logan Allen standoff before
No, I didn't.
the Canada game? There's and Canada's playing I can't even remember right now. Panama, and there's a Logan Allen on each team, and they had an
Oh,
anthem standoff. So it's pretty cool.
I didn't
Yeah,
see that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's pretty cool.
I
But
didn't
yeah,
realize it was Logan Allen on Panama.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's just a different feeling, man. I don't blame Scooble at all. Matthew, this is fair. If I'm his agent, I beg him not to. As a
Oh
fastball
yeah,
fan and an American, I love it. Yeah, and we're with you. Like,
totally.
could this be a big fork in his career? Like, could he go and get hurt? Yes, there's always that risk, of course. But I mean, this could be the biggest game of his life if he pitches in this. That's a lot to weigh in.
Yep.
Like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen in my free agency with this lockout. Am I going to get dealt at the deadline? Are the Tigers going to make the World Series? I'm going to say probably not. But this could potentially be the biggest game he could ever pitch in his career. I'm I'm thinking about it pretty heavy, and I'm trying to find a way to stay so I can pitch in that game. 1000%.
Yeah, and I think for Team USA, this one means a little bit more because you lost to Japan last time, watching Japan win their third. You've won once. You lost in the final to Japan as they won their third. You're supposed to be the best baseball players in the world because that's why Major League Baseball is based in the U.S. These guys I think feel that pressure of we're not going to level the score here in this one alone, but we got to start chipping away to get back.
Agree. And Josh, this is a great point. There has to be some weird emotions with Detroit too, though, right? And yeah, if I'm the Tigers, you're kind of going back on your word, right? You told
Mhm.
us when you left here that you were going to make the start, you were going to be back in camp because now our team is quote unquote suffering. I don't know how much they're suffering. They're in spring training, but you know what I mean? Like our guys aren't getting your expertise now because
Right.
you are away from the team, right? So yeah, it's a lot of mixed emotions, I'm sure. And Detroit, I don't exactly know, obviously, how Detroit's feeling, but it's got to be weird for sure.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
absolutely. And I think too. I think the relationship between Scooble and Tigers has definitely gotten chillier. The Tigers did not make him an extension offer this offseason. They made a low ball offer going into arbitration. I don't think he feels the love of that organization. And I think for him, it's like there where I really am not that appreciated. I'll just stay here. Screw them.
yeah, and Josh just said it just backs you up right here, Harrison. 19 million versus 32 million doesn't add up though, and it's exactly what you just said. Scooble's like they don't value me. That shows with that $19 million offer. So, and this is where I want to be right now. Like
Yeah.
everybody else, the who's who in the MLB from the US or just the who's who from the MLB period is in this tournament.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely. I want to be here because I am the reigning two-time Sung Award winner. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
want to be here.
And for him, this whole season is not about the Detroit Tigers. It's about the next contract.
Right.
If I'm Scuba, I'm going out there. I'm gonna be so good the Tigers are going to win because I'm so good, but I'm playing for my next contract. Like
Yep.
that's what I'm out there to prove and pad my stats to show that I'm that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael, I want to say a Dominican player got plunked and was all hyped going down
Yep,
to first. This is a totally different animal. A thousand
it is.
percent.
It totally is.
Um, Matthew says, I totally agree. So many variables for him, and this start is not make or break. Like Otani pitching in meaningless games for the Angels and getting hurt heading into free agency. He should make the start.
Yep.
I'm with you. Like at first, I was like, he does have a lot to risk, but like you said, the way it lines up, like Skeens isn't gonna get more than one start, it looks like. So yeah, I think if the US wants a chance to win, I think you gotta find a way to get Scooble back for that championship game. And if he hasn't left yet, that's a good sign for the US.
Yeah, he was still there today. He has not returned to camp. And could you imagine you go into the championship game? You're lined up with Scooble and McLean, with Skeens behind him, who could probably throw an inning or two if you need him.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just not fair.
that's fine. I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it, but
Yeah, right.
it's not fair.
No.
I mean, now as fans, we get to see what it's like being the Dodgers, having literally everybody that's good on our team.
Right. 1,000%. And yeah, this is the whole thing, right? It's gonna be such a weird season, though, with
Oh, yeah.
lockout impending. Yeah, it's gonna be strange for sure, but
Yeah.
let's enjoy it while we have it.
Yeah, and if anything, I think this whole Scooble situation with Detroit has reminded us that this is a job, this is a business, it's a game third,
Yep,
and Scooble's playing it that way. He's basically saying, "Look, you guys don't love me. I don't really love you. I'm playing for what's next. I'm doing what's important to me. Whatever."
yep, I agree. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. Japan clinches Pool C with a 4-3 win over Australia. Australia played them tough. It was 4-1 going into the ninth. Australia hits 2 home runs to kind of make that game look a little bit tighter, but they had a chance, man. Um, how are you feeling about Japan's chances coming over to the US here?
I think Japan is good. Like we said, they're good. They're disciplined. They've got some star power. I don't think they're as good as they have been in the past. And in games like this, you kind of go, "Oh wow!" Like they played a tight one against Australia. They played a tight one against Korea. Um, I think Japan has proven they're good. They're still one of the best teams out there, but they're not where they were in past WBCs, where they were just like so far and away better. Um, but I still think they're dangerous.
Yeah, it was the first morning they played. We all wake up, because they played at what 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time. And we all wake up the next morning and it was like 13-0 in 6 innings or 7 innings. And we're like, oh, here we go. Like
Yep.
Japan's running it back. Yeah, they have some holes. Otani, as we know, is an absolute monster. He has just torn the Tokyo Dome apart. That ball carries really well in that dome. There's been a
It
lot
does.
of bombs in there.
Yeah, there have been, and it's not like it's a shallow stadium or it's got short walls. I mean, it's a poke, but it does carry really well there. But again, I go back to, Japan feasted on pitching from Chinese Taipei and like
Yeah,
teams that are just rolling out guys that are nowhere near the caliber that most of these guys see every day. It was like throwing BP to them.
right.
I really want to see Japan when they're facing, I would say talent that matches them, because
Yeah.
they are far and away better than everybody in their pool.
Yep. Greg says Masa, Barry Bonds, Yoshida will match them to victory. As a Red Sox fan, it infuriates me to no end, man. It's unreal. It's something about the WBC, and we'll get to another guy here coming up that is just like that too. But
Yeah.
I think part of it is the pride of your country. Like you have something bigger to play for, and some guys can just shine in that moment. Just take it in and thrive. So, yeah, Masataka Yoshida is picked up where he left off in the last WBC because he had the most hits in 2023. I'm pretty sure he had like
Yes,
18 hits or something like
he
that.
was a monster.
Um, and he's picking up right where he left off. So insane.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a combination of the country pride. Obviously, in many cases, you're facing what I would say lesser competition, but also more importantly, like you're in lineups that are really good. You don't have the pressure of I've got to get a hit. Like you can relax a little bit, knowing that you got plenty of guys behind you that are very capable,
Yep.
and because of that, you can not press. And I think when you see these guys get comfortable, they get locked in.
Yeah. Yeah, and Matthew, this is a great point going into especially the bracket
Yeah.
play, like the quarterfinals. It's one loss and you're done. You go home.
Yep.
So Japan could make the 18-hour flight over to Miami and or however long it is, half a day, full day, who knows, and lose the game and have to go right back to Japan. So yeah, it's a different animal. It's NFL playoffs, if you will. You lose, you go home. You're done.
Yeah.
So
It's intense.
yeah,
These games in bracket play start to get really intense because there is
yep,
no tomorrow.
right. Yeah, Joshua, it's like the Little League World Series, but
Yeah,
but for big kids. I love it. Yeah,
totally.
it's a great comparison. Probably feels that way to a certain extent for them, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, let's get to Luis Arise, man. Talk about somebody that thrives in the WBC. He has 3 multi-homer games in his career. 2 of them are in the WBC. It was today and against the US in 2023. Just something about this tournament, this guy is all over. I mean, we all know he's a good hitter, but to do this is one of those baseball anomalies that's pretty dang cool.
And it really is. And a guy, like you said, who's not known for his power, who, loses the ball on occasion, but again, for whatever reason, gets really locked in for this tournament. And I think there's a lot of things that are behind that, but more importantly, like he just gets locked in.
Yeah, it's just wild. It's baseball. It's why I love it, man. Like this guy doesn't hit for power anywhere. But like you said too, right? The level of pitching here across the board is a little bit less than what he faces in the MLB on a typical day, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
that plays a part of it. Um yeah, and Arise will hit 5 this season, Aaron says probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this dude is just an absolute beast in the WBC for whatever reason. I think he had 2 more doubles in that game. He had 2 doubles, 2 homers, I think 5 hits or something like that. I mean, he just absolutely tore it apart. And we said it going in. Venezuela is one of those teams that you look at it and you're like, on paper, man, this team is pretty dang good, and they are playing it right well. Right now, they're playing well right now. So crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Arise had a had a hell of a day for that team.
Yep.
And we said in the preview show, like, that is a team that could very easily get hot and run the table. Like that
Hmm.
that's a good roster.
It is for sure. All right, let's go into each pool individually. Results thus far. Cuba's 2-0, Puerto Rico 2-0 after that walk-off homer in the 10th. Canada's 1-0. They're playing right now. They're up 2-1 against Panama in the bottom of the 5th. Panama's 0-2, and Colombia's 0-3. So let's start at the bottom here because Colombia now has to play. Most likely it's going to be Panama. If Panama loses this game, they have to play a game to see who gets relegated and has to play into the next WBC because the 5th place team in each pool has to requalify for the next WBC. But what are your thoughts about this pool so far? They've had to play with a little bit of weather delays here, a little bit in Puerto Rico as well. So that's
Yeah, it
a
has not been the
small
easiest.
factor.
And the fact that Canada's only played one game, just now playing their second game, scheduling wise makes me scratch my head because everybody else is like 2 games ahead of them.
Yeah.
So I thought that was strange, but I mean, this one's played out exactly as I thought it would. I thought Cuba and Puerto Rico would come out. Canada would be behind them, probably play okay, and then Panama and Colombia were, distant to the rest of them. So there's no surprise here in terms of how they stand. I will say I thought that Colombia and Panama would be a little bit better than they've been. Like I didn't think
Mm-hmm.
they would make a lot of noise and have a real shot, but I thought they'd be better. The play has not been good.
No, defensively, it's been a train wreck for a lot of these teams. Colombia's defense this afternoon
Yeah.
was atrocious. Like, I
Horrible.
mean, ridiculous. Um, I picked Canada as my dark horse. Um, I think they got a pretty decent lineup. They're putting up runs. They're playing great baseball. Tyon actually had a start tonight, looked pretty good. So but I'm with you. I think it's Cuba and Puerto Rico realistically. I don't know how the run differential plays out at this moment if Canada wins. But yeah, this is going to be a tight pool between those three, depending on the
Yep.
results of this game here. So
Yeah, I mean, Canada could very easily sneak in and grab one of those spots. I mean, that, like we said, that team is good. Like that is a good roster. That's a pretty good lineup. Pitching staff is deep enough. Um, they've got a couple of lay down games here with Panama and Colombia. Like this could be interesting. Although that Cuban team and that Puerto Rican team have played very well,
yes.
and they're gonna be tough to upset. But Canada, don't sleep on them.
No, and their next two games after Panama is Puerto Rico and
Yeah.
Cuba. So we will see how they
Yep.
measure up. Puerto Rico's playing with a chip on their shoulder, man. Did you see
Yep.
they FaceTime Lindor right after their walk-off win?
Yeah.
Lindor
I did.
Lindor's going nuts. Like that's what it's all about. It's cool. I wish Lindor was here. He's the heart of baseball for me. He is one of those guys that like when I think baseball and a role model for younger kids, it's Francisco Lindor. Just the joy he has playing the game. To take him out of this tournament was heartbreaking. It sucks.
It is.
Um, but Puerto Rico's playing with a chip on their shoulder, and it's showing on the field for sure.
Well, at that, they've got Bad Bunny who's like sending them custom cleats, like he's trying to keep them all jacked up and ready to go. Like, they've
Mhm.
got, Puerto Rico is not Puerto Rico itself is not a lot. It's not a lot to Puerto Rico, but
Right.
they've got a tremendous amount of support for
Yeah.
what is a very small island.
Yeah. And Mike, this is a good point, right? The top three teams now have to beat
Yes.
up on each other. So this week we're going to really see how this measures out. Who's the cream of the crop here?
Yep.
Because they've just kind of beat up on Colombia and Panama. But um, yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll see how this one pans out.
This will be chaos in this pool for the next couple of days.
Yep, I'm here for it.
Love it.
So,
Bring me all the
yeah,
chaos.
yep. All right, Pool B results this far: USA and Italy 2-0. We got Mexico at 1-0. They're up 5-0 right now, I think, in the sixth. Brazil and Great Britain bringing up the rear 0-2, 0-3. Um, didn't really think that Great Britain and Brazil had a shot, but I will say this about Great Britain. They're not far off. They're close. They've been hanging around a lot of these games. They were in like
Yep.
5, 6 innings, and then the wheels just fall off. So, like, are they good? No, not what I'm saying, but they're close to being semi-competitive, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. They don't have the depth. Once you get
No,
past their top one or two guys, there's not much behind them.
right.
And I'm kind of with you. Great Britain has done a nice job keeping their uniforms in one piece this time, which is good. Um, the team has played better than they did last time, I think, which is also good. So I mean, I agree. Like if they had some more depth, Great
Yep.
Britain, is not a joke. What I am surprised by in this pool is how bad Brazil has been. They have been awful, just awful. And I thought Brazil and Italy would have switched places here. I thought the Italian team would be okay. I thought Brazil would be pretty good, and maybe they win a game or two, but they've been terrible, and Italy's actually been surprisingly good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting out of Brazil. Because I mean, we broke down their roster last show, and it wasn't great. I mean, they have just a wide spectrum of ages, ability, legacy players. Dante Bichette Jr.'s in there, Jose Contreras' son, who's a 17-year-old. So like, you're like, I don't really know what to make of them. Like, we haven't seen them. This is the first time on this stage. So I didn't really know what to fully expect out of Brazil. Italy being 2-0 is a little shocking, but they still got some big dogs to play. So
They do.
they got the U.S. and Mexico still. So I just, it's tough. We'll see.
Oh, Matthew. Brazil's like that ray gun chick at the Olympics. What are they doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they won the qualifiers. That's what got. I think they were the last team to qualify. Actually, I believe.
I'm pretty sure
I think
you're
they
right.
got in on the last qualifier. So, yeah, this pool is USA for me. No doubt. I don't think, other than Mexico, I don't see a team really giving them a fight. Greg says, I've seen enough of Manny's sons. Get him on the Sox yesterday. Don't care what the cost. I need that swing back on the team.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And he goes deep twice.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. That second one was a skyscraper, man. That thing was in the air forever and just
Well,
carried out.
that first one, like he was a little bit off balance and still got enough on it to get it out. And that second one went about 1,000 feet high to travel, 360 feet out because
Yeah.
that thing was in the air forever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, USA is going to obviously clean up this pool. I think Mexico is the second team to come out. Yeah, I think Italy just misses it. Then Brazil and Great Britain are kind of sitting at the bottom.
Sidebar, Nix looks like a grizzled helicopter pilot in an action movie. It's supposed to be my pool party attire. You get it? No.
Yeah,
But,
I was trying to get Jason Statham on the show, and this is what we got instead. We got Timu Jason Statham.
Yep, that's right. Even if I had Timu action, I wish I had his Timu abs. So there's that. But anyways.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's USA for me for sure.
Yep.
I think Mexico does end up kind of rising to number 2 here. So
yep.
All right, let's get over to Pool C. As I said, Japan clinched already. Australia 2-1. Chinese Taipei stringing a couple wins together. They're 2-2. Korea 1-2, and Czechia has already been relegated. So
those poor plumbers and electricians, man.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to play in again. But what are your thoughts on this? We touched on it a little bit earlier, but what are your thoughts on Pool C? I've enjoyed actually watching baseball in the Tokyo Dome. It's been fun.
That place is nuts.
Yeah, it's
it
cool.
is loud. It is. I mean, holy cow. Pool C to me is maybe the biggest surprise of the group. Japan, yes, we all knew Japan was gonna roll. Australia, we knew they'd be pretty good. Weren't really sure what to expect. Chinese Taipei, I had no expectations from. I thought Korea would be the second team out. Korea has lost 2 heartbreakers.
Yep.
In this, and now they're sitting at 1 and 2 and likely to not come out of this pool. So, to me, the biggest surprise is Chinese Taipei. After a rocky start, has played pretty good baseball, as we thought they would. They're going to make contact. They're going to catch the ball, throw the ball. Nothing flashy, but it's working. Korea's lost some heartbreakers, which is tough. Australia's good again. So I think that this pool, to me, this pool has been the biggest surprise because you've had teams that I didn't expect much of that have played well, and then vice versa.
Stuart Fairchild's playing his way onto an MLB roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's actually in the NPB, or he's somewhere over there right now. But he had a grand slam. He had a 2-run homer last night or this morning, however that works out. I don't really know. But he's been raking for Chinese Taipei. So
yeah, he's been huge.
Mm-hmm. Huge.
But Chinese Taipei does what they always do. Like they bunt, they run, they make a lot of contact, they catch the ball, they throw the ball. Like nothing flashy, like zero flash to their game. Yeah. But they just play fundamentally sound baseball. And like we said for years with like the Guardians and of the world, like when you play baseball like that, it's hard to lose a lot of games.
Yep.
And they've won some tight games because of it. And Korea has lost a couple of heartbreakers for that exact reason. Teams have just played slightly better than them.
Yeah. Yeah, Travis Bazzana showing he wasn't a dud first overall pick. That dude's going to be a beast. He's going to be a problem.
So good.
Yep. Josh Naylor, bases loaded. Oh, just foul. Oh, it's Bo Naylor. Sorry. Yeah, Canada's up 2-1, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the fifth. But yeah, Bazana, for sure, that kid's the real deal. I mean, you see him hit a home run. Next half inning, he makes a diving play in the hole. I mean, that kid's good. We're gonna see him in Cleveland for sure.
God, I hope so.
There's no. He makes the team out of spring, right? He's got
He
it.
has to. He has to. Like, there's no world in which he belongs back in AAA.
Agree. Oh, Fairchild's rights are owned by the Guardians. That's right. I think I did hear
Oh,
actually that on
yeah.
the telecast. So
Yeah, they brought that up. The fact that if
yeah,
he were to go back, it'd be through the Guardians.
yeah. So lined out, ending over. Yeah, pool C for me, it's Japan. I'm pulling for Australia hard. I love them mostly because like they have some ball players on that team that I've never heard of.
They do.
They're that first baseman, that big first baseman, like what's his name? Like Wixton Wingate or something like that. Um, that dude hits some missiles too. Plays pretty good defense over there. It's cool to see new players with some talent.
Yep.
And I love it. I love that Australia story. So I'm pulling for them hard since my plumbers are already out. So yeah.
Yeah. It's been great. Like I've found Pool C, like you said, to be really entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, cheap ass Cleveland may want to delay service time clock on that kid. Did they take out that stipulation? Didn't they take that out in the last CBA? Or is that just something we talked about?
It's something we talked about. I don't think they actually changed it.
Yeah, because we were talking about like people waiting until May to get that other year of service time.
Yeah,
But for some reason I thought they took that out, but I think maybe we were just talking about that being an option. But yeah, either way, I hope so. All right. And finally, Pool D, Harrison. Venezuela 2-0, Dominican Republic 2-0, Netherlands 1-2, Israel 0-1, Nicaragua 0-2. Any surprises here?
No. I mean, I picked Venezuela and the DR to come out of here. The other three teams to me were all just going to kind of battle to see who could finish behind them. But the DR is loaded, as we said. That's might be the second best roster in the whole tournament. And you maybe could argue they're the best. I mean,
I was just gonna say, dude,
flip a coin. And Venezuela is no joke.
No. Yeah, neither one of those lineups has a break. There's no break in those top two lineups. Dominican Republic, man, is just. I know I said it on the watch party. It just seemed like they were missing something, like the it factor, if you will, for the lack of a better word. But it doesn't matter. I mean, Soto hit a quote unquote walk off today in the seventh inning for a 10-run rule. I mean, if you count that as a walk off homer, I don't really know.
So weird.
But I mean, that team is disgusting. 1 through 9, man. It's Austin Wells went deep for them. It's just like there's no break in that lineup at all.
No,
like
I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing the DR play a better team. Like they smoked Nicaragua. Nicaragua's not good. They smoked the Netherlands. Netherlands not good. I'm waiting to see them play like a real team. And I hate to use that phrase, like these teams aren't any good at all, but let's be serious. Like the Dominican tomorrow plays Israel. That'll be another 10-run rule game. They finally play Venezuela on the 11th, which will be finally a test of how good are they really, because we have no idea how good this team is right now because they are smoking teams that are not even close.
Yeah, it's almost seemed like they've scheduled these on purpose like that. If you look at all the pools and how they're lining up, the good teams are kind of that last battle before going over to the States. So,
because the DR went Nicaragua, Netherlands, Israel, then Venezuela. It's like three powder puffs and then a real team.
Well, yeah, and that's how the USA is kind of lined up because they'll probably play Mexico last. So, I mean, they've kind of got an idea of who are going to be the top teams and they schedule them last. So, but yeah, it's Venezuela, DR for me. Joshua, I'm with you here. Pitching depth for the DR could be the difference. I think that is where they're lacking for sure. But it ain't gonna matter if they're putting up 15 runs a game.
Yeah.
They do it early and often. They can jump on teams right away. And that's my fear with this US lineup. Just looking at these first two games against Brazil and against Great Britain, not great pitching, and we're not hitting until the fifth or sixth inning. That's a little bit of a worry for me. Because out of
Yeah.
those, like we said, out of those 17 walks, they managed, what was it, 8 runs? They left a
9 runs. Yeah.
lot of guys on base, 9 runs. They left a lot of guys on base. Um, I just the starting depth for Dominican. They do have some guys in the bullpen. I agree with you, Matthew, but I think that's where they are the quote unquote weakest. Because there's not many outs in that lineup to be had.
There's not. And I think the only weakness in the DR bullpen comes from guys like Sir Anthony Dominguez and the guys that have incredible power arms but wildly inconsistent. That's what could do the DR in is these guys come in and they just don't have it because we have seen that many times with these guys. It's not a matter of stuff. It's going to be a matter of can they actually locate it. And so back to the question, Nick. So the U.S. has Mexico tomorrow night,
Oh,
and then
okay.
they finish with Italy the night after.
Okay. So either way.
Yep.
Yeah, and we saw, in 2023, the Dominican Republic was playing Puerto Rico and they tightened up, right? And
Yep.
teams do that in a big pressure packed game. Some teams tighten up, they pucker up, if you will, right? And we
Yep.
saw that happen to the DR. And then we see Edwin Diaz go out on injury because he's celebrating. So, I mean, we do see teams tighten up when it comes to big games. So, do they do that again? Do they face some adversity and then just lose their heads? That's part of it, right? I've seen a lot of posts today about how the US is flat. They're not celebrating. They're not over the top like these Latin. I mean, they're boring. They're white. They're just, vanilla across the board. But to me, like, yes, I get it. Latin American baseball is completely different. That's the culture of it, the celebrations, the freaking uh Caminero home run celebrations, like over the top, right? Like, I get it, but don't get vanilla mixed up with focused, right? I think there's a little bit of that. You have Aaron Judge, who is not a raw guy to begin with. He is a focused, driven leader, and the U.S. has one goal, right? I'm sure other teams have the same goal too, but I think the U.S. they still celebrate when it's a big moment. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
they were all in awe of that Kyle Schwarber home run, as you
Yeah.
would be.
The dugout's loud. They're on the top step. They're jumping. They're just
Exactly.
the celebration. The celebration tends to happen in the dugout. It doesn't happen on the field. I think that's the difference.
Right.
These guys aren't pimping home runs the same way. They're not. I mean, we saw one of the DR guys get hit by a pitch and pimp that. Like
You're
it's
right.
like it's different. The U.S. they're loud. They're into it, but it's in the dugout. Like they're not doing it on the field.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like the whole thing that they're vanilla or plain, like, I don't necessarily agree with that. It's just different. It's just a
Yep.
different culture. And that's fine. I'm okay with the different styles, different cultures. It is what it is. But to me, I think it's just like Aaron Judge kind of gives that team that even focused, like, hey, like, we can have fun, we can have a blast, but we're also here to get a job done.
Yep.
So let's keep our sights on that too. But
Yeah. I mean,
that's just
Judge reminds me a lot of that approach you've seen the greats have, like Kobe, Tom Brady. It's like we're here to do a job. This is work. Like until the
right.
job's done, there's nothing to celebrate. There's nothing to get excited about. Like we won today, awesome. Let's celebrate it for a moment. Let's enjoy the fact we did it, but we got to come back tomorrow and do it again because the job's not complete.
Yeah.
And I think that more like kind of business like mentality of like we have a job to do. I think people take that as being stiff. But for Judge, it's we're not here to party. We're here to
Right.
win.
Right. Yeah. Curtis says different styles, different cultures. It is what it is. And yeah, I completely agree. And Joshua says Judge has 10 times the personality of Trout. Trout has been plain vanilla for over a decade. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think Judge does. I think Judge carries more of a persona with him. Like Trout did because he was just great. but Judge is another level when it comes to that leadership captain mentality to me.
Yep.
But yeah, so
Agreed.
that's my little mini rant on that. But
Yep. But again, like I want to see the DR face a good team because
yep,
last time around they rolled through the pool play, and then the minute they got punched in the mouth by another team, they had no response. They folded,
right,
and that's what this team historically has done. The minute they face an equal team and get punched in the mouth, they fold.
yeah,
And I want to see them not do that before I believe that this team has got the ability to go anywhere because loaded up with superstars, but beating Israel doesn't mean anything. You've
right.
got to beat Venezuela, Mexico, the US, Japan, and they haven't been able to get that done.
Yeah, and that's a tough road, man. You got to get through
Yeah.
Venezuela, and then I mean, let's face it, you're gonna get well. If you don't get through Venezuela, you know who you're gonna get? You're gonna get Japan right off the bat.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
Yeah, and then if you do get through Venezuela, you're gonna get Japan anyways, right? Unless
Yep.
Venezuela ends up going in and knocking off Japan. But yeah, it's crazy. People are unemotional at times, like Jim Brown and Harrison. It's good. At least I'm not getting the flack. I love this.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that's
I take
awesome.
being unemotional as a compliment.
Yeah, right. Even keeled.
Exactly.
Not too high, not too low.
That's the nicest thing Curtis has ever said about either one of us.
I mean, facts. Matthew says, I respect Trout's quiet humbleness, no bat flips, put your head down, play the game. Don't have to tell everyone how great you are. They will tell you if you really are. And that's
It's a great
fair.
point.
Yep, that's an absolute great point. I don't know about that with Trout. Go watch his WBC highlights. He showed lots of emotion and character. Would love to have seen Trout on a real baseball team. Trout's a whole nother episode that we could spend 4 hours on. So we won't necessarily go down that road, but yeah, I agree. Career kind of wasted over there in
I think
LA, Anaheim, California.
I think you're I think you're right, Mike. I think Trout does have emotions and character. It's just different. Like Trout has a different way of showing it, and he tends
Mhm.
to be a quiet guy until the moment needs it.
Right,
I think I think Judge is just kind of that guy all the time. Where
right.
I think Trout kind of has his moments.
Hey,
Now Nick is catching strays in the chat.
yeah, hey, the Valium keeps Harrison here. He needs it to deal with Nick. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a what if I've ever seen
Oh my
one. Yeah,
goodness.
you guys have seen the series I've put out. Mike Trout for sure. I mean, that's a no brainer. But yeah.
Oh,
All right,
the scary part is he's
anything?
still a Hall of Famer, even with all that.
Yeah, Panama just took a 3-2 lead on Canada, top of the sixth. They got second and third, 2 outs. All right, anything else on the WBC that stands out to you that we haven't discussed yet?
No, I mean, I think the yes, we've had a fair number of blowouts, like I said, but I think it's been pretty competitive. We've seen some incredible defensive plays. We've seen some incredible, big hits. We've seen some incredible base running. There's been a lot of great stuff that's come out of this. But I mean, you do have a very unbalanced playing field here. Some of these countries versus
Yeah,
the other ones, but it's been insanely entertaining. So I think again that the WBC pool play to me is tough. It's hard to judge teams when you've got such a difference in talent. But the games have been incredibly entertaining either way.
yeah, I'm with you. I've never been so excited to get up at 5 a.m. to watch a baseball game than I do. Like it's been really cool, and I love it because it is on literally all day because the games are just everywhere across the country, across the world, really. So like you have baseball at 5, you have baseball at 11, you have it at 1, 3, 7, not 8. Like it's all day. So I've been eating it up. I love it. Yeah,
It's been incredible.
incredible.
WBC is a huge win, and I really wish that they would do this next year if there is a lockout to try to save baseball in some way. Give
Yeah,
us something.
right. Yeah, Matthew, we talked about Kike a little bit earlier about his quotes about this being bigger than the World Series, and yeah, it's no doubt, no doubt. I agree with it fully. So,
Yeah.
all right, So right now, after looking at all the teams, Harrison, has your finals prediction changed?
No, I think it's still going to be the U.S. versus the DR. I still think it's going to be. I think those two teams are destined to meet up.
Yeah, I'm with you. Um, I don't think Japan quite has the depth. Now, if Yamamoto's lined up, it could be a whole different animal. Um, but I don't know if there's anybody after Yamamoto that necessarily scares me. But we'll see. It's Japan, and no one can hit split fingered fastballs because those things are ridiculous. So,
Yep. Yeah, and again, like it's tough to judge where Japan is because they've been smoking teams that are significantly less than
right.
them.
Hmm. Agree. All right. We're going to end the WBC talk. We're going to get some out of left field discussion topics. So, Harrison came up with these. I have not seen them. So, it's my turn to kind of go back and forth on them. And then we can have you guys um, definitely add in your 2 cents as well. So, what do we got for the first one, Harrison?
All right. Well, I figure we're talking World Baseball Classic. Let's get into this one. So I've heard people propose, do you play the WBC before the season starts, in the middle of the season, after the season? So my question to you and chat, Nick, is if there were no restrictions, you could pick any time. When would you play the WBC? When in the year would you get the best performances, the best turnout for this event?
Mm. I think they have the timing nailed, honestly. You don't want to interrupt the players' off seasons, right? You don't want to interrupt the MLB season. You don't want a 2 week gap in the middle of the year like hockey does for Olympics. Although, hockey does it. They don't lose anything, except for maybe Sidney Crosby to a lower body injury. But,
That was going to happen
I
anyways.
right. So I mean, facts. So I honestly I think they have the timing right here. Let guys get into camp, kind of get established, then like make a couple starts, amp up, get on your team's plan, get on your cycle, and then take kind of a you're not even really taking a 2 week break because you're still practicing, you're still doing your on-field spring training plan, if you will, and then you can go back to spring training for what is it, a week and a half, and kind of go back at it before getting into the season and to get into your routine. So for me, I think the timing is correct. It won't mess with the All-Star game. You don't need a 2 week break away from the game. I think it's rightly timed.
Yeah, and I've gone back and forth with this because I see there's disadvantages to each one. You do it in
Right.
the spring, you got batters that aren't fully up to speed. You got pitchers that are still ramping up. You have to have the reduced pitch counts. You've got to be careful with guys. You kind of have to baby them because it's early in the season. They haven't built up any stamina. It's like, okay, that's the downside to the spring. Middle of the season, the downside is a lot of guys use that all-star break as a chance to just recharge because baseball's a grind.
Yep.
People are like, oh, it's just baseball. You're just standing around all day, but it is a physical grind. So like that middle of the season break, guys are half a season in. They are ramped up, but yes, in many cases they want to take a break. They want to get a breather before the second half. If their team's in playoff contention, they definitely don't want to miss that and get hurt potentially during that or take away from it. And then when you get to the end of the season, you got guys that have been nursing injuries all year that are going to get looked at and get taken care of to go get surgeries. They're exhausted. I think there's no perfect time. But I
No.
tend to agree with you that I feel like the spring works better because you're not interfering with the season. You're not interfering with playoff races. You're not expecting guys to finish 162 game grind and then come right back out and play again. You're getting them when they're still fresh. But because of that, you're getting them at like 75% capacity because they're not fully ramped up. And to me, that's the best trade off. I'd rather get these guys fully fresh at the start of a new season at 75% capacity than get them, tired and with nagging injuries at other parts in the year.
Yeah, I think we saw Michael said end of the season. So, I mean, yes, you would think that they would be fully ramped up. They're in baseball shape, if you will. But then I think you lose all the potential free agents, right? Like, we'll take this year, for instance. Kyle Tucker wouldn't go, not that he's there. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, the big free agents coming up. So, if if WBC's in 2027, Scooble definitely doesn't go. There's no way he's going to risk getting hurt at the WBC with his free agent in his free agency season. So for me, I don't think end of the season works. And you got a lot of guys that you're messing with their off-season plans at that point. So that's why I kind of went towards the spring there.
Yeah. And Matthew right
okay,
here is agreeing with you. End of season never worked because of the free agency and trades. Totally,
right.
that would definitely interfere with that.
Yeah. Matthew also said, I would prefer the players to be fully ramped up for this. Agree, fully.
Yeah.
So maybe couple it with an all-star game and give players a much needed break. I mean, I could see baseball doing that because, like Joshua says back here, Olympics is going to do it anyways in 2 years. So do you just do that? Schedule a 10 to 12 less games in a season and a 2-week break every year? And then plug the WBC in there on the years that there's no Olympics or whatever, So like every year we have a 10 to 12 day break and you plug it in the middle. I don't know. I think teams would be less likely to send their guys in the middle of the season if they are in a pennant race.
Yeah, because
That's
I think that complicates things for a couple reasons. If you're out of it, these might be guys you want to trade coming up on the trade deadline. You want them to get hurt, then you can't trade them. The flip
right.
side of it is if you're in a pennant race, you don't want to lose somebody important for the stretch run. So, like I can see it. There's a downside to every part of the year. There's pros and cons no matter when you pick the time. It's just like which is the best combination.
Yeah. Mike says, I agree with Nick. It's cool to get some spring training games, then crazy meaningful games. You cool back off with more spring training, then season starts. Fills the low in sports perfectly. Yeah, I think the bigger picture, like I didn't even think
Yep.
about the bigger picture, Mike, but you're right. We have this, then it kind of flows into March Madness and
Yep.
kind of fills that little bit of gap between opening day. So yeah, that's a great point, Mike. Love that. Curtis says right now it's perfect. It can make you prepare if an injury happens. The best players stay sharp and in game shape.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we all know the WBC timing was picked based on media. The fact that the NFL's over and March Madness hasn't started gives baseball a window to take over. This is, it's as much about promotion and marketing as it is about baseball. And that's why this window of time works so well, as it fills in a huge void in the overall sports calendar.
Yeah. Yeah, NHL does it and it works. Baseball shouldn't overcomplicate it like they usually do. Well, you're asking for a lot right there, Joshua, but I totally
Yeah, I
get
mean,
it.
you're not
But yeah,
wrong.
I think for me, I think right now is perfect. It really is. I mean, could I see it somewhere else during the season? Sure. Absolutely I could, but I don't see the need to move it necessarily. You think we have insurance issues now? We try to do it in the middle of the
Fair.
season. No one's getting insured. So,
No, they're going
um,
to want these guys to take physicals to find out like what nagging
yeah,
injuries do they actually have. Like it could get more complicated.
yep, agree. So, yeah, yeah. Heaven forbid fans can watch games. That's again another. We'll add that to the Mike Trout episode. Yeah.
Uh,
Anywho, all right. Next question, Harrison.
all right. So another rule change that went into effect that when it happened, we were all like, "Oh my goodness, why are they doing this?" But really, I don't think anybody's talked about it since. So I'm curious between you, Nick, and Chat. Has banning the shift made any difference? Has there been an impact on the game, or is it kind of a lot of noise about nothing?
Um, I think it's made a difference in the optics of the game, like how the game looks. Because when you look at a baseball field, you're supposed to see your second baseman and your shortstop in the shortstop position. So optics,
Fair.
yes, right? Um, Average again, all-time low this year. So I mean, no. Essentially, it hasn't made any difference at all. And it's fine, right? But if you're looking at stats across the board, the shift wasn't necessarily the difference. Now, I will take, we're not seeing any like David Ortiz bunts down the third baseline. Like those have pretty much gone away, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, if that's what you're trying to get out of the game, you've gotten it out of the game. Um, so I mean, I just I don't think it's made a difference other than how it looks, I guess.
That's a fair point. I mean, it is. I think there's an optics aspect of it. I think there's probably some hitters that it's benefited, but
Yes, for
when I
sure.
look at the batting average trend, banning the shift hasn't changed that batting average trend. It continues to go down.
Mhm.
I think everybody wanted to blame the shift for some of the changes in batting average. I think the reality of it is that the hitting just hasn't caught up to the pitching, and the hitting approach is no longer about just getting the ball in play. It's about trying to hit it 700 feet with every swing.
Right.
And because of that, the shift was never going to make any difference. But I think MLB was trying to look at ways to improve the game, move it along, keep some offense. And I think this is an easy one to say, look, just go back to your regular position, stop these crazy shifts. Um, and that's why I think nobody's talking about it because it's no longer it's not a worthwhile conversation. It wasn't a problem before. Fixing it didn't solve any problems. Baseball just kind of made the change and here we go. But it's not the reason that batting averages were declining. It's not the reason that hitters were struggling. I think that is a change in the overall approach to the game. It's not the shift.
Yeah. I mean, it did make one difference. It got Joey Gallo out of the game.
I mean, it did.
But yeah, I'm with you. There's been no change, and it's approach at the plate, like you said. It has nothing to do with where guys are standing in the field. Listen, I don't care if you pull all 9 fielders and put them in the infield. I don't. I really don't care. Like 9 guys on the field's 9 guys on the field. I don't care where you put them. Batting average is still going to be low.
Well, and I remember situations where you'd be in extra innings or whatever with guys on base, and you'd have 4 people on the right hand side of the field, 2 on the left, and only one outfielder because the ball to the outfield didn't matter. You
Right.
would just stack the infield to keep a ball from getting through. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I do miss the ability to kind of define your strategy based on the hitter. And guys are still moving around a little bit. Like there's not like they're not still positioning them, but I do miss the days of being able to say, okay, like this guy does nothing but pull the ball to the right side. Well, let's stack the right side. Let's make
Right.
him do something else. Because what we learned is these guys can't do anything else. They've got one trick and that's it.
Mhm.
So I do miss the strategy it took away where you could play players that way if you want to take the risk of being so out of sorts. Because I feel like as many times as you took a hit away on the right hand side, because of massive holes in the left, they'd dunk a ball over there and steal a hit. I feel
Yeah.
like in the end it kind of came out to about the same. And I think what we're learning now is the shift because it was kind of always that. It was a sum zero game. It took some, it gave some.
Yep. Mike likes the shift band. David said no, and it's not right. Michael says it's a lot of noise signifying nothing, and that's pretty much
Fair.
where we're at. Matthew said,
Yeah,
I think the
agreed.
impact is minimal because of the modern approach to hitting, just like, Harrison agrees with you. If players choke up with 2 strikes and put the ball in play, you will see a bigger impact. I don't know what this choking up and putting the ball in play thing is you're saying, but it sounds like it could work. I don't really
Must
know what you're talking about, but
must be an old school thing.
yeah, I have no idea. I've never heard that. Chicks and casual fans love the long ball, and that's where it is, John Temple, right? Take your best softball swing and let's go. 250 is the
Yep.
new 300, and that's what it is. Curtis says it hasn't changed anything. However, I love it being gone. I remember seeing Red Stockings games. They would do it most of the time. Yeah, shifted all the time. Um, I believe managers should be free to place fielders anywhere they want, learn to go the other way, and make them field in position. Yeah. I mean, you make these guys not have to shift by hitting to all fields. But again, when it's drop and drive and you're paying me $35 million a year to put it over the monster or the left field wall, I'm not, you don't want me to just slap it to right field. You want me to drive in 3 on a drop and drive. So, I get it, and Greg's with you on this aspect, Harrison. It feels like it took part of, the the mental part of the game out, the strategy part, which I hate, but it is neutral for sure. Um, and don't swing like it's 3-0 on every pitch is what I mean. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. But that's the
this
approach.
this would be the equivalent of the NFL telling defenses they can't stack one side of the field. If you know they're going to run to the left side, you still got to spread out. You can't stack the side of the field.
Right.
It's like, come on. If you know a guy's going to hit the ball 80% of the time to the right hand side, why not stack that side of the field? And there is definitely strategy to it. And like I said, I feel like as many times as it takes something away, it gives something back because you'll leave other massive holes in place. But I feel like everybody made a big deal out of the shift. It was killing left-handed hitters specifically. It was
Yeah.
hurting the game. We took it out, and now nobody talks about it because it didn't make any difference. Like,
Right.
guys still can't get base hits.
No. And let's face it, the shortstop starts right behind second base anyways, and by the time the ball's hit, he's already in the second base hole. So like it essentially is still there to a degree. But you're right, no one talks about it anymore. So
Yeah, it was a big deal. Then it
yeah.
was just like gone, and
Yep. Mm-hmm. So
we'll see.
And we have talked about this, Matthew, as well. We have talked about at some point the pendulum will start swinging back to contact, to base runners, to hit and run. We saw it with the Brewers a little bit last year. They had the most wins in the MLB because they played baseball. They played a different style of baseball. So they're kind of ahead of the curve there. I think it will come in swings for sure. I'm with you. But all right, next one.
Next one. All right. I've been dying to ask this question from you and chat. All right. So you guys, who had the better career, Clayton Kershaw or not yet retired but soon to be Justin Verlander?
Let's face it, he's retired.
So real quick, I'll give you guys a second to think about it. So
Man.
Justin Verlander in his career, 266 wins, 158 losses, a 3.32 ERA. He's got 3,553 Ks, and he's an 81.7 WAR.
3 no
Clayton Kershaw,
hitters, right? 3 no
yeah,
hitters.
yeah, and then and all the hardware you can imagine. Clayton Kershaw in his career has 223 wins, 96 losses, a 2.53 ERA, 3,052 strikeouts, and 80.9 WAR. So very similar, yet with notable differences. So who had the better career?
Man. I mean, that's where I'm going, John, is the postseason is probably the difference here. It has to be. I loved watching Kershaw pitch like at his peak. Unreal stuff. One of the best curveballs ever. Off speed stuff, could blow it by guys too. Kershaw was unreal, but his postseason, I'm with you. It's just not there. It's Verlander's no hitters in his postseason career that I think puts him just a notch above Kershaw. Although their peaks, they both won MVP. So
Yep. They both won MVP.
God.
They both won 3 Cy Youngs. They both own a Triple Crown.
Yeah.
I mean, their careers are very similar.
Yeah, I think I have to go with Verlander. I think the no hitters put him up above, and I think the postseason performance puts him up above. Otherwise than that, these guys could stand in a mirror. And they're the same player. But Verlander with the no hitters in the postseason, I'm taking Verlander, I think.
Yep. What I find amazing in all this is that Justin Verlander has made 100 more starts in his career, relative to Kershaw. That is, he's had 20%, or I guess for Kershaw, he's had 25% more starts than Kershaw. And obviously has better numbers to prove it, but like not significantly better numbers to prove it. An extra 40 some odd wins in 100 starts. I think what it shows is how good Kershaw was for a while. It also shows how good Verlander's been for a long time.
Right.
Because Verlander was on some teams that weren't good. I mean, take last year as an example. But I mean, he was on some Detroit teams that weren't good. still put up some incredible numbers, but he has absolutely had longevity on his side. Whereas Kershaw had the incredible peak for a while, and then the kind of the rough, uneven ending as he battled injury.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part with Kershaw is that he's got 3 rings. 2 of them he was kind of a non-factor in, where
Mm-hmm.
Verlander was very much in the middle of all the World Series appearances he's had.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I mean, I tend to lean towards Verlander as well, but when I look at what Kershaw did in the window of time he had, I mean, man, it's hard to
It's
it's
insane.
hard to say he didn't.
Yeah. And they're both first ballot Hall of Famers, no doubt.
Yes.
And honestly, they both should be unanimous. I like. There's no doubt
Whoa.
that there's no
Whoa,
doubt.
Nick.
I know. But how can you look at these guys and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna vote for him? I mean,
Well,
how?
you can't. Like a rational human being or can't, but these writers can. These writers can be like, "Oh,
I
I'm a
just
Verlander fan. I can't let Kershaw be unanimous. I just won't vote for him."
brutal. It's absolutely brutal. I can't, but it's stupid.
It is. It's
Um,
terrible.
yeah. Now Mike says Verlander, in his opinion, it's not close. John Temple is with better postseason player by far.
Yeah, yeah.
Curtis, this is a good one. Overall, Kershaw postseason, I'm taking Verlander, and there's no rules,
Yeah,
so you can do that. Sure. I
I
mean,
I tend to agree.
yeah,
I think you're right.
yeah. And John says
But
it
it's hard,
down here.
it's really hard.
Yeah, and John Temple says down here, being a lefty, a dominant lefty for Kershaw makes a big difference. Dominant lefties own the game, so that's a good one.
Yep.
Greg says 2014 Tigers rotation not winning a World Series is legit the
Oh,
only thing I can think of when I think of Verlander. Yeah,
that was rough. That rotation was disgusting.
stacked. Um, don't think I've ever disagreed with a fellow Red Sox fan this hard since people were saying Crip over
Oh,
Ellsbury.
Coco
Oh,
Chris.
Crisp over, yeah. Um,
Yep.
yeah. What part are you disagreeing with us on, Greg? Do you think Kershaw's better? Because I mean, listen, and Mike, yes, no one will ever get 100% again. I agree. I really don't until they change the voting process. I get it, but yeah,
Yeah. Baseball is a big ego, just like athletes. It's hypocrisy. I mean, Curtis, yes. These baseball writers will find a reason not to vote for somebody to keep them from being unanimous just because they want to make sure they protect their guy,
yeah,
or because they said something mean to them one day, or they didn't take their interview
oh yeah,
request.
yeah. The unanimous part, Greg. Yeah, I
Oh,
say that mostly to get a rise out, but honestly, if you look at the guys, I know the Hall of Fame's a joke. Period. Like let's be honest, the voting process is a
not
joke.
good.
Um, there's so many guys that deserve unanimous selections and didn't get it, right? And it's just weird that Mariano, out of everybody, like I get it, he was the best closer of all time ever. I get all that, but like, how is he the first one to get 100%?
Yeah, when you
Like
look in the Hall of Fame, tell me how he was the first guy to be unanimous. Like, there's
it
some pretty
doesn't.
good guys in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, last time I checked.
You're telling me
Um,
Hank Aaron and Willie Mays weren't unanimous? Like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. But if I'm a writer, if I'm a voter, and I see Kershaw and Verlander on my ballot for the first time, how do I not check their name off? Like, how do I personally leave
I
them
don't know.
off? I can't. So that's yes, someone messed up. Yeah, 1,000%, Greg. We're with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
com- completely
So
agree.
but yeah, the Hall of Fame is a whole different. Again, we'll add that to the Mike Trout episode as well, and we'll have like a 6-hour marathon episode when we discuss all that stuff. But
There we go.
yeah, that's a good one. I think the full body of work, including the postseason, for me, Verlander just edges him out, and it's the 3 no hitters on top of that. So
Yeah,
um,
totally, totally fair. I tend to
So
lean Verlander as well, but when you look at Kershaw, it's just like, man, what that guy did was
gross,
incredible.
gross,
Incredible.
just disgusting. I'd take both in a heartbeat. All right, last one we got.
All right. So which trade was worse, Nick? So on left, we have Steve Carlton. Steve Carlton was traded to the Cardinals from the Cardinals over a $5,000 salary dispute, and then went on to win 4 Cy Young awards. He was traded for Rick Wise. Then you got Mookie Betts. We know what happened there. So, which trade was worse?
So I have been on record saying the Mookie Betts trade was worse than the Babe Ruth trade, which is crazy, right? But you have, yes, Babe Ruth was a homegrown talent too, I guess, but Mookie Betts, you brought through your farm system. You saw what he did in 2018. Everybody saw. Everybody knows who Mookie Betts is. Generational talent, perennial MVP talent. And you're not going to pay to keep him there? I mean, for me, the Red Sox lost all momentum they had as soon as they dealt him away. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Steve Carlton, but this one hits home for me just because of being a Sox fan. The Mookie Betts trade was the dumbest thing the Red Sox have ever done. And that's, selling Babe Ruth to the Yankees for the rights for a play. I mean, the Mookie Betts trade for me is no. That was the cardinal sin for me. There's no way.
Yeah, and hold this thought, Matthew. I've got so many bad trades I want to bring up down the road, so
Oh yeah.
we'll have to get to these. Pedro for Delino. Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
many. There's so many bad trades I want to get to. So
Ryan, sorry, I'm native
yes,
Nick in his protection. Yeah.
you've
No,
actually
it
been
was
there all along. We're just now making it more
yeah.
obvious.
No, it was my pool party my outfit. So you're welcome. Guess it didn't land. I just look like the Unabomber instead. That's cool. Anyways,
Or
go.
Timu Jason Statham is like we decided earlier.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean I look at this, and so the Cardinals literally traded Steve Carlton over 5 grand. Got Rick Wise back. That's a fine trade. Rick Wise was fine. Um, and then he goes on to win 4 Cy Young awards and has a couple of the best seasons we've probably ever seen. Mookie Betts has actually been a lesser player since the trade in to LA. Still one of the best in the game, but he hasn't been like MVP level Mookie like he was in 18 when he left the Red Sox. He went to a super team, where he's been able to win. So like it's hard to tell like what did you really give up. Now the Red Sox have nothing to show for that trade, as we know. We got Connor Wong to show for that trade. Alex Verdugo can't keep a job. Jeter Downs is gone, and you've got Connor Wong still floating around as your backup catcher. So that's
Jeter
all you've
Downs
gotten
went
out of the
deep.
trade.
Jeter Downs went deep in the WBC, so he's still around, but just not with the Red Sox.
Yeah, he's not around in any meaningful capacity.
Right.
But
I got you.
so like I look at this as the Mookie Betts trade is bad, yes. And I get why the Red Sox did it. It was for financial reasons, blah, blah, blah. You got to dump David Price. So basically Mookie was the sacrifice for David Price. Fine. But you traded one of the best left-handed pitchers in history over 5 grand.
Right.
Over 5 grand. Um, I feel like the Steve Carlton trade has to be worse. As bad as the Mookie Betts trade is, I feel like that one doesn't seem as bad as Steve Carlton.
Yeah, and ultimately, I'm with you. You just struck a chord because this
Yep.
Mookie Betts one was just like we don't get it. As Sox fans, we're sitting there and we're just like, pay the dude. Like you grew him. You watched him grow up. Like, what are you doing? And he came off like MVP season, World Series in 2018, and you're just gonna let him go. Just bye. So I just it is the Carlton one. I think I do agree with you for sure. But it's just the whole Mookie scenario for me just strikes a chord, the whole situation. So, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
ultimately you're right. Over a 5 grand dispute is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, and honestly, like I could have picked any trade. I put the Mookie Betts here, Mookie Betts trade here because I know it would trigger you.
Uh-huh.
So this was
Yeah, I
this was
know.
partially for my entertainment and partially because I also think it's terrible. I mean, I at least can understand why the Red Sox made the trade. It doesn't make it better. It's just I understand what they were doing. This Steve Carlton one though just blew my mind. Every time I see it come up, I'm just like that can't be right. So I finally went down the rabbit hole. I'm like dead serious. It was over a $5,000 dispute.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. Um, I mean, Matthew, I get this point, right? The whole Babe Ruth one is pretty ridiculous. I completely get this comment. I understand it, and I'm with you, right? Honestly, like Babe Ruth's the best of all time, like according to War, all of that stuff. Yes, I ultimately agree with you, but um,
I thought Shohei
it's
was the best of all time, Nick.
uh, not yet.
Okay.
But yeah, Greg says I just can't get past the fact that Mookie went on record multiple times saying he was 100% testing free agency, and then he snapped and went to the Dodgers. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Again, like I understand why the Red Sox traded Mookie Betts. The situation wasn't going to change. He wasn't going to sign and extend. They weren't going to let him walk for nothing. They needed to dump David Price. Ultimately, you were going to lose Mookie anyway, so the fact you were able to dump David Price was kind of a win. And you took back some prospects that looked pretty good. And Verdugo was good in Boston for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Wong's has been a good catcher and a good backup catcher. Like you didn't get, I mean, you didn't get nothing, but you didn't get much. But again, like we've talked about on the show many times, when you make these trades, if you want people to take on a lot of money, you get a lower return. That's what the Red Sox did. They dumped a massive contract in David Price on the back of Mookie Betts and
Yeah.
sent him out there.
Yep. I agree. And Curtis says you guys have prospered from bad trades. Let's remember history. And yeah, I mean,
Sure.
we yeah, but I don't know. Bad trades. I'm a Raiders fan. I was triggered
I'm
Friday
pretty
night.
I'm pretty sure the Raiders are determined to just not be good forever. But
Yeah.
that's a topic for a different show.
Yeah, and John Temple, you nailed it. Mookie was the first domino for the Fire Nation into LA to start laying the path for what they have now. 1,000%.
Yep.
He was the first piece to go, and then everyone was like, "All right, let's go.
Yeah,
We're
then
doing this."
then Freddie comes over and Shohei, like everybody just starts joining and
Yeah,
this thing took off.
yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways, so yeah, I thought that was fun. I got a whole list of bad trades that we'll bring up in the future to debate them, but this one was just an
Great.
easy one.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting point, Mike, and you're probably right. If the Sox had re-signed Lester, Price had never been in Boston. The thing I never
Yeah.
understood though is did the Red Sox try to re-sign Lester and he said no, or did they go sign Price and just let Lester walk? I never figured out why that ended up happening.
Yeah. Matthew, we give Friedman a ton of credit on this show for
Oh,
what he's
yeah,
did in Tampa and then over there. He's just smart. He's smarter than everyone else, and he has indisposable money. So that's you put those two together, and it's a recipe for what the Dodgers are cooking up right now. So
yeah. You took I took one of the best executives in baseball and gave him more tools.
nope, Harrison's struggling here, coughing on his words.
Dying over here. But you took Friedman was one of the best executives in baseball already, and then you took him out of Tampa where he had to like make these players, dropped him in LA where he could make him and buy him, and just gave him every tool there was. And
Yeah,
when you give a guy who's that good at the job everything, everything at his disposal, it's just not fair.
yeah. Curtis, we might have to do this. We might have to put this on the schedule. Have a bad trade show. That'd be awesome. I think we could totally do that. There's
Oh
been enough
man.
for sure. Um, Yeah. Well, the media doesn't. That's fair.
Oh, fair.
They just say they got the money. The Dodgers misspent a
Yep.
ton of money before you got there. Yeah. That's
I mean, they
that
did,
that's true. That's fair.
which is true. I mean, the Dodgers were a mess,
Yeah.
and that was when the McCourt family still owned it, and that was a whole disaster of its own. But yeah, I mean, I think Friedman went in there and basically rebuilt that, and they also have now one of the top farm systems, one of the top rosters. I mean, that's Friedman had to go in there and just retool that whole place.
Yeah, and he has. So
Yeah,
crazy.
he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah,
You might say.
yeah, just a little bit. All right, Harrison, who is that guy is back? What do you got for us tonight?
All right, I got a good mix. I think we went back into the archives for some older players, and I think we got a good mix tonight. So there's going to be some slam dunks. There's going to be some thinkers. So I'm looking around.
All right, let's get it going.
Let's do it. All right, first player played for 18 seasons between 1982 and 1999. Played for the Athletics, Tigers, Angels, White Sox, Blue Jays, and Mets. Was a 1989 World Series champion. Best known for his defensive versatility with more than 400 games played at 4 different positions. Who is that guy?
I got to take my witness protection goggles off. Oh,
Wait, this will be tough if you can't see the pictures.
Yeah, if I can't see the pictures. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
A guy that I used to really enjoy watching play.
Yep. Yep, Ryan got it and Matthew got it. It is Tony Phillips. Nice job, fellas.
That is for sure Tony Phillips. Average of 266, 160 home runs, 819 RBIs, 374 OBP, and a 50.9 WAR. A guy who did a little bit of a lot.
Yep, for sure. Love it.
And played everywhere. I mean, you'd see him one night at second, one night at short. Like he was all over the place.
Yep.
So, all right. Next one. Played for 19 seasons between 1986 and 2005. Played for the Rangers, Orioles, Marlins, Padres, Dodgers, and Yankees. 6-time All-Star, 2-time ERA title, 1-time World Series winner. Best known for signing baseball's first $100 million contract. Who is that guy?
The last clue is a dead giveaway.
It should be. That's why I added it.
Yeah. Dead giveaway.
People on Facebook should love this one.
Yeah. Well, all 5 people that see it now.
I mean, I think it's gotten as high as 6 lately, but
yep, you guys all got it too. Nice. It is Kevin Brown for sure. Nice. Yep, first $100 million guy.
Yeah, so Kevin Brown, career record of 211 and 144, 3,256 in the third innings pitched, 3.28 ERA, 2,397 strikeouts, and a 67.8 WAR.
Yeah.
It's funny because I always remember that 1998 season with the Padres where he was so good and almost carried them to a World Series.
Yeah. Yeah, he had some unreal years for sure.
He did.
It was fun
the Marlins, the Padres,
yeah,
a bunch of other ones in between.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't so good in New York, and I loved every minute of that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Curtis.
Yeah. It's always tough to see a Yankee struggle.
Yeah, I hate to see it. Anyways. All right, next one. Played for 16 seasons between 1995 and 2010. Played for the Royals, Mariners, Athletics, and Phillies. 5-time All-Star, Royals Hall of Fame member in 2015. Best known for ranking second in Royals history for home runs, slugging percentage, and batting average. Who is that?
Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorite Royals of all time.
Love him.
Yeah. This is a good one.
You're not sorry.
Yeah. Oh, we got some discrepancy in the chat. We got Butler, and we got Sweeney. Which one is it? I know they're both almost kind of the same frame.
I did love Billy Butler, but
yeah, it is Mike. It is Mike Sweeney for sure.
This is absolutely Sweeney.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Butler had the little like goatee patch too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So this is Mike Sweeney, average of 297, 215 home runs, 909 RBIs, 366 OBP, and 24.8 WAR. I absolutely loved watching this guy play, and he wore that little Captain C on the shirt, which was incredibly uncommon. But he was amazing.
Yep. One of the great ones for sure.
All right. Next one. Played for 19 seasons between 1987 and 2005. Played for the Yankees, Blue Jays, Marlins, and Mets. Two-time All-Star, two-time World Series champion. Best known for being the first pitcher to record a win against all 30 MLB teams in his career. Who is that guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Another guy I used to love to watch pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I probably didn't even need to put that one into the chat. This was a slam dunk. Uh-oh. Panama's starting to put it on him now in the 8th.
On Canada?
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
play at the plate. Got him. Wow, what a throw. It's 4-2 going into the bottom of the 8th. Just had to play at the plate. Yes, Mike Reed. It is El Lida.
Jack's dad.
Yep, Jack's dad for sure.
So yeah, Al Leiter, record of 162 and 132. 2 career saves. Figured I'd throw that in there. 3.8 ERA, 1,974 strikeouts, and a 40 WAR.
Love it.
That massive curveball he threw. Like he threw that big hook before Zito did.
Yep.
You know, he and Kenny Rogers had those massive curveballs at that time.
Yeah. The game on FS1 was Mexico and Italy, I think. I was watching it, but I took it off because Mexico was handling them pretty good. Because FS2 right now is Canada. Yeah, Brazil and Mexico's on FS1 right now. And yes, Brazil is done for sure.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Next one. Played for 12 seasons between 2002 and 2013. Played for the Rangers, Indians, and Yankees. 2-time top 10 MVP voting, 0 All-Star appearances. Best known for having 4 consecutive seasons of 100 plus RBIs and 25 plus home runs, but never being named an All-Star. Who is that guy?
This is one of the, like, him and Tim Salmon. How they never got to an All-Star game blows my mind.
This guy was an animal.
Crazy. Oh, geez, the final was 16-0. I'm glad I shut it off.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Yikes.
That's good for Mexico because if there's a tiebreaker, that's a 16-run differential right there. So
that's a lot of runs.
Yeah, that's a good padding. Yes, it is Hafner, correct. Absolutely.
Pronk.
Yep. Absolutely Travis Hafner.
Yep. Good old Pronk.
Yep,
average of 273. Yep, there you go. Average of 273, 213 home runs, 731 RBIs, a 376 OBP, 24.8 WAR. That WAR would have been higher, but he was a DH for a lot of his career. But man, that guy made some loud contact.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I didn't like him coming up to the plate against my team, that's for sure.
No, and he always had that like scowl on his face. Like he always looked like he was going to go out there and kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also pretty big, so you wouldn't mess with him.
The fact that there's no All-Star appearances, though, I just
mind blowing.
It's
absolutely blows my mind.
Yeah, it's him and Tim Salmon for me, no doubt. Like, how the hell? How?
Half project, half donkey.
Love it.
Oh God. All right. Played for 19 seasons between 1973 and 1991. Played for the Pirates, Reds, Athletics, Brewers, Angels, and Blue Jays. 7-time All-Star, 2-time World Series winner, 3-time Gold Glove winner. Best known for winning the first home run derby in 1985. Who is that guy?
Oh, that's a giveaway right there.
Yeah.
And it's a number. Love it. Oh, yeah. That was a quick one, Ryan. Nice. Yeah, Dave Parker for sure. Nice job, Ryan.
Yep. Absolutely Dave Parker. Career average of 290, 339 home runs, 1,493 RBIs, 339 OBP, and a 40.1 WAR.
Yeah. Yeah. Finally got into the Hall of Fame. So good for him.
Finally.
Yeah. Star Wars, I think now Great Britain and Brazil have to play each other in order to see who gets relegated. So that when they play each other, they'll figure out whoever loses that game gets relegated and has to play back into the WBC in 2029. But yes, yeah, the Cobra, nice job. Yeah, that was an easy one. Oh, Ryan's favorite player of all time. That's pretty cool. But
Yep.
love it. Love it.
All right. Played for 18 seasons between 1975 and 1992. Played for the Giants, Cardinals, Yankees, Padres, and Red Sox. 4-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger. Best known for hitting a dramatic home run in the 1985 NLCS to send the Cardinals to the World Series. Who is that guy?
Holy unibrow. I love it.
It's incredible, right?
Yeah.
With that old hat.
Yeah. I definitely know who this is. This looks like it's a drawing. Is it a drawing?
No, it's actually not. That's the funny part.
What? Yeah, it is Jack Clark. Ryan's all over it tonight. Nice job. Yeah, it's Jack Clark for sure.
Yeah, that is
Nice.
Jack Clark. Average of 267, 340 home runs, 1,180 RBIs, a 379 OBP, and a 53.1 WAR.
Damn.
Guy had really pretty good numbers. Doesn't get a lot of doesn't get talked about a lot.
No, it really doesn't. So, yeah.
And also had a million walks.
Yeah. That WAR is a lot higher than I thought it was. Or, that's crazy.
Yep. All right. Played for 15 seasons between 1999 and 2013. Played for the Astros, Yankees, Cardinals, and Rangers. 6-time All-Star, 1-time World Series champion. Best known for having 5 top 5 MVP finishes while with Houston. Who is that guy?
Part of the Killer Bees. Yeah, running my era tonight. Yeah, I'm actually doing really well on these. There's usually a couple I struggle on, but these ones I got these ones.
Yeah. I'm trying to mix in a little bit more of the primary era that we all followed.
Yeah.
Got a couple that are going to go back a little ways, but I think they're ones we should be able to get.
Yeah. Lance Berkman is absolutely correct. Nice.
Yeah, so Lance, average of 293, 366 home runs, 1,234 RBIs, 406 OBP, 52 WAR.
Yeah.
That OBP is ridiculous.
It is. That borderline could have gotten into the Hall, could have not. He's just short on all his numbers.
But in reality, he had better numbers in just about everything than Dave Parker.
You're right.
That's the Hall of Fame makes no sense to me sometimes.
Oh, zero.
That's why it doesn't. That's why it doesn't.
But if you compare the eras, Dave Parker's numbers were probably higher to his peers than Lance Berkman's were to his peers. But
totally.
Yeah. Man.
Totally.
I like that you guys go through all the eras. It's easy to know what we grew up on. I enjoy the challenge. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to get to the 80s or 70s because that's the stuff that I slack on. Just because that's not my wheelhouse at all. I wasn't around for it. So I like going back there and doing the research for the trivia questions. So pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why I like to mix them in too because it's it's fun for folks a little bit older than us. It hits their era, but trying to find a way to mix all those eras in.
Yeah, it's hard. All
right. Played for 19 seasons between 1972 and 1991. Played for the Cubs, Yankees, Pirates, and Giants. 3-time All-Star. Best known for pitching a combined shutout with his brother against the Dodgers. Who is that guy?
He pitched a combined shutout with his brother. That's pretty sick.
It is pretty cool. I thought that was a neat fact.
I don't know who this is. Oh, yes, I do. Never mind. I think. I don't know how to spell it. This I might have butchered the spelling here.
Oh, you got it.
I hit the spelling?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Yep, we'll take it. We'll take it, Ryan. Yeah, it is Rushel, Rushel. You got another spelling? Because Steve Moyer, brother Jamie. No, good guess.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Rick. It's
Yep.
Rick
Rick
Rushel.
Rochelle.
Rochelle, Rushel. That looks like Rushel to me, but Rochelle.
I always pronounce it Rochelle, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Mike, I actually nailed it in the private chat, so I know I did. For
Yep.
sure I did, but
Yep, I was shocked. He can't spell basic words, but he got that last name right.
I can't spell Babe Ruth, but I can spell Rick Rushel.
Oh yeah, so Rick Rochelle or Rick Rushell, whatever we want to call him. Record 214 and 191. 3,548 in the third innings pitched, 337 ERA, 2015 strikeouts, 69.5 WAR.
Damn.
This guy was pretty good.
Yeah, I'd take it. It's Rushel, so you were right.
Okay.
Just Rushel. That's it. There's too many vowels for that to be Rushel.
There's a lot of vowels there.
But
there's a lot of vowels.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
All right. This should be the last one. Played for 16 seasons between 1975 and 1990. Played for the White Sox and Tigers. 3-time All-Star, 1-time World Series champion. Best known for covering the 29% of Earth that isn't already covered by water. Who is that guy? So if you remember the phrase, it was 71% of the Earth is covered by water. This guy covers what's left. No.
No. I thought it was Maddox, Gary Maddox, because you had him and everybody in the comments was saying that.
So the original quote, I believe, was for this guy. I think people also applied it in other places, but I think it was originally for him.
Got it. Is it Chet Lemon?
It is.
Yeah, Chet Lemon.
Chet Lemon.
Dang.
Average of 273, 215 home runs, 884 RBIs, 355 OVP, and a 55.6 WAR.
Dang.
But yeah, I think that quote has been attributed to a number of players. Dipshit is a wild name to have. What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because when we did the Gary Maddox one, like a lot of people in the comments would answer it that way. So that's why I was like, But yeah, nice. Chet Lemon. Good mix right there, Harrison. Nice. As always.
Good little assortment.
Yep. All right. Anything else for tonight? Before we head out for the evening. That goes for chat. If you guys want to bring anything up, this is your time to bring something up, bring something to the table. So yeah. Yeah, A+ baseball name right there for sure, Greg. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But do you have anything, Harrison?
I got just a couple of minor things, but I'll give Chad a second.
All right. Is this a list of guys better than Baines and not in the Hall? I mean,
it could have been. I mean, it certainly worked out that way.
We should have like a common theme. Like, what do all of these, who are these players like, kind of like what's the theme with all of them? That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Ed. You're not wrong.
Yeah. All right. So I'll throw a couple things out there while chat's putting some stuff together. So number one, did you see the Milwaukee Brewers challenge system that MLB stopped?
No.
So the Brewers created a little system to help players understand when they should and shouldn't challenge a call. And it was simply a red or a green index card that they would tape to the top railing of the dugout. And so basically, if the game situation was one where they shouldn't challenge a call, they would tape the red card on the railing, and that way players could look real quick and determine if they had the all clear to challenge a call or not. If the green card was on the top railing, they would be okay to challenge a call if they felt like they needed to. And it was a system that Pat Murphy put together to try to help the guys figure out when they should and shouldn't use the challenge system. MLB saw it and went, "Oh no, this you're not allowed to have any influence from the dugout, and that would be considered influence from the dugout when challenging a call. You have to stop." So Pat Murphy's response was, "Got it, understood." They took it. They haven't done it. They haven't done it. Didn't do it today after they were being told yesterday not to do it. But a team finally figured out like we should give these guys some guardrails as to when they should and shouldn't use it, and
I
put that in
mean,
play.
honestly, like during spring training, I don't think I have an issue with that because Pat Murphy is training his guys to teach them like when is the appropriate time to do a challenge. Like to me, that's what he's doing. He's not doing it to necessarily try to get an edge, as to educating his players like when is the right time to challenge a call, when is the wrong time to challenge a call. Like that's not like a pitch goes up and then a guy puts the card up. Like every pitch, green, 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 oh, red. You know what I mean? So like I think for him, he was doing it for game situation, not necessarily like, immediately changing it after a pitch. So, like, I mean, I get it. They can't do it. MLB said no, they can't do it, whatever. But
Yep.
for me, like, I don't see an issue with it. He's just trying to teach his guys when the appropriate time to use it would be. That's just my thoughts on it. But
yeah, and I totally agree. I mean, they're trying to. The problem is that the challenge has to happen so quickly. You don't have time to like wait for somebody to indicate to you. So like when the inning started, they
right,
would just go slap the index card on the top rail, and that way you knew as you were walking up to the plate, you could look over and say, "Okay, I'm in a green situation. I can challenge." Because there isn't
right,
time to wait for a signal. There isn't time to wait for somebody to yell something out. And if the umpire hears somebody yelling to you what to do, they wave off the challenge. They can't challenge. The
right,
challenge has to
right.
be initiated on the field, not from the dugout, not from the on deck circle, not from wherever. Like it has to come from the players in the play. And the umpires are trained to wave the challenge off if they hear interference.
Yeah,
So
batter,
it was a
catcher,
smart
pitcher.
way.
That's it.
Yeah, it was a smart way to give the players an indication when to the plate, like, is this a time in the game when I can use this or not?
Yeah. Yeah. And Greg, we just said it, right?
Yeah.
So the difference is that if the on deck batter says it, the umpire can wave it off. But yeah, it's definitely pitcher, catcher, batter, only three that can challenge. Like it can't even come from a first baseman, can't come from a shortstop, can't nowhere else on the field, just
Yeah.
those three.
And the first baseman keep yelling at the
So
pitcher, "Hey, challenge that, challenge that." Like then they wave it off. It has to come
right.
from the guys in the play.
Yeah.
So in
Yep.
reality, what teams are going to do is when the inning starts, the manager's going to say, "Hey, to the guys going up, don't challenge. This is not the time of the game to burn a challenge." But yeah,
Right.
these teams are all going to create their own systems and situations as to when they do and don't want them to use it.
Yeah. And if that's expressed verbally before before the inning, like the manager turns around and be like, hey, we're in a green situation. And if it's close and you want to challenge it, go ahead. I think it depends on, the situation in the game, obviously, and all of that stuff. But um like you said, oh man, they're in another rain delay in the top of the ninth. That's
Oh man,
crazy.
that game is so close to being over.
Um yeah, like I don't have a problem with managers verbally saying this is the right time to use it, this isn't the right time. So yeah,
Yeah, so I think that's what's going to happen. You're
but
you're just going to have to tell the players as they're going to the plate or when the inning starts, like this isn't the ending of the challenge.
right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like you could even have the third base coach send a sign down to the player at the plate, basically saying no
Right.
challenges. There could be a sign for no challenges. Just
Yeah.
telling the guy not to,
Thousand
telling the guy
percent.
not to use it. They'll figure out a way. But I thought it was clever at Pat Murphy. Like we're just going to give these guys a simple red or green. Like look at the railing. You know if you can or not. Let's keep it easy.
Right.
But
But
it's
yeah,
it's
you're right.
it's something I would totally expect from Pat Murphy. Just a simple
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, there's no way that, oh wow, it's a monsoon. Whew. Yeah, but there's no way that you can stop like a third base coach, like instead of a sacrifice bunt, it's like, hey, green light on challenges or whatever.
Exactly.
Like So there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be
Um,
telling them, to challenge the pitch, but they can be telling them based on the game situation, like, we don't want you to challenge.
yeah. Matthew says, way too many holes in this rule. There will be decoys and signs relayed to the batter no matter what. Let the manager solely challenge like football. Well, if the thing is, the challenge takes too long. It's also a judgment call on the umpire. So, like, if he feels like something's being delayed because something's being relayed, he can just be like, no, I'm not challenging it. So,
Well, and I think
yeah,
we're talking about two different things here. There's the telling the guys the game situation, whether or not you want them to consider challenging a pitch. There's also the actual challenging a pitch. The challenging of the pitch happens so fast, you can't have any outside influences dictating that.
right,
You don't have time to wait for a sign from a coach or somebody to say something or some sort of signal to get relayed. It's bang bang. You either challenge right now or it's over. So, like,
right.
what the other part of this too is is making sure the guys are aware in the game situation, is this the time to challenge or not? You don't want a guy challenging a pitch in the fourth inning of a game of a interdivision game. Like, you want to save those for late in the game when they matter more. It's
Hmm.
kind of the game situation, but also the actual pitch challenge. And what we're saying is that, they were using that more so to give the guys an indication of, based on the situation of the game, we either wanted you to try a challenge or not. But the individual
Right.
pitch, you can't. There's not time for a sign for that.
Yeah, Matthew, if this would not go down, they would waive this off
Oh yeah.
immediately. If the batter turned and looked at the manager and the umpire seat, like there's no way
No,
they would just waive off
what
the
he's
challenge.
saying
You
is he'd
wouldn't be
rather see
allowed.
him challenge that way. Have the batter tell the manager, "No, I want to challenge." Have the manager actually make the challenge.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Like the red flag situation, like
Exactly.
pull out a sock.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Because I get it. There's going to be times in the game where you don't want somebody to challenge. You just have to make sure they are aware of that.
yeah. It will be funny to see which guys on teams don't get allowed to challenge ever. Javi Baez. Yeah, and then this should help speed the game up. More
Yeah.
sarcasm. I think I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Like, remember when the pitch clock came out, we were all screaming like, "Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. This is changing the game. You're hurting the game." We don't even recognize the pitch clock anymore. Right?
Yep.
Not really. I mean, do we know it's a part of the game? Yeah, we do. But like, how much does it really affect the game that much? Not overly. I
No.
think eventually this will also kind of slide into that slot as well. Right? I don't think it's going to matter.
No.
So
No. I don't think it's a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but again, like, we haven't seen it live in games that matter, and I'll be curious how it all plays out. But yeah, I thought that was pretty
yeah.
clever for Pat Murphy to give an easy signal to the guys.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. And like I said, no issue doing what he did if he's trying to teach his guys when the appropriate time to use it is or not.
exactly. Exactly. It's definitely a learning moment. So, all right. In other news, the owners met in Florida today, just one of their many kind of meetings. They did vote again. They're going to enforce the coaches box rule. So your first and third base coaches cannot leave the designated coaches box area before a pitch is thrown. Um, that was they. It's always been a rule. It's just never really been enforced. They kind of let them roam a little bit. The fear was that they were trying to get too close to the plate to steal signs. Now you got pitch com. It was kind of a not as big an issue, but they're doing it now for two reasons. One is safety, and two is they don't
Right.
want the coaches having a better angle into the glove of the pitcher to see if they're tipping pitches, things like that. So they will now enforce the coaches box rule. If a coach is out of the box and a pitch is thrown, he gets one warning. Second time he's ejected. Um,
Oh damn.
and so they're basically taking this as, you need to stay in your box. Like, that is your area, you stay there. So it's a warning, then an ejection. And then if you're ejected so many times, you're then suspended. And there's also situations where you can be ejected and then you're not allowed to replace the coach in that box. So there's kind of levels to the situation, but ultimately are going to enforce the coach's box.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
I mean, the safety reason, no joke, dude. I mean, these guys are hitting the ball 120 miles an hour off the bat.
Screamers.
I mean, why they haven't put up one of those like first base nets like you take during infield practice in front of them yet? I'm surprised that hasn't happened. But yeah, crazy. I mean, I take it or leave it. But like Ryan said, this has come and gone 6 times in my life.
Yep.
Will it really get enforced? I don't know. We'll see. I think when the ball is in play and the directing runners, like they can come down the line.
Yeah.
And
It's only before the pitch is thrown. They don't want
Right.
them creeping down the line to get a better look at the pitcher or things like that. Once the pitch is thrown, they can move to wherever they need to go. But until the pitch is thrown, they have to remain in the box.
Yeah.
And this has come because there's been several teams that have complained. Teams have their coaches get different angles to try to peek into the pitchers when they're in the stretch, to try to get a look at their grip, to try to get a different angle on the catcher to see if he can see if he can get a sign or figure out what he's signaling outside of the pitch comm. Teams have complained that this is happening, and so MLB is finally saying, "Look, let's just stop and shut this off."
Yep. Yeah. Agree.
So, for what it's worth.
I mean, sure. Let's talk about that, and let's not talk about the issue on the table. But that's fine.
Exactly. So once the pitch is thrown,
Let's talk.
they can come down the line to get better angles to see the play in the outfield, to direct runners, to do all that stuff. But until the pitch is thrown, they've got to stay put.
Yeah. But let's not talk about being on the same page for this lockout. Let's talk about coaches in a box.
Well, apparently they're on the same page. It's salary cap or bust.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, and actually, Mike, you're right. The Yankees did actually get specifically called out for it a couple of times, and so did I. Or somebody else got called out a couple times for it too.
Okay.
There was two or three teams last year actually specifically got mentioned as perpetually doing that. Yeah, Curtis agrees. It was the Yankees. So
yeah, Ryan said they should let them kick the corner infielder as long as 1 foot stays in foul territory.
Well, and I heard
just make it full contact baseball.
I heard somebody say it too, and I'm not sure if there's any truth to this, but these coaches just like pacing up and down the line can be a distraction to a pitcher in the stretch because he's seeing a move. They look like runners. And there's been a lot of people that said, these coaches need to just like stop. They come way down. They're halfway down the third baseline. The pitcher can see them. They're in their peripheral vision. Like they're now becoming a distraction with how they move.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think the boxes are there for a reason.
They've been there for 100 years for a reason. Stay in the box.
Stand there. Yeah, I agree.
But anyways.
Nice. All right. Anything else? Nothing?
Nothing. Looks like chat's quiet too.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, yeah, I got nothing else. We'll recap some more WBC. Yeah, Manny Machado complained to someone for sure. Yeah, we'll recap some more WBC going into Thursday. We'll have probably a clearer view of who's going to be in the quarterfinals and stuff by then, or it might even be determined by then, right? We got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 more days. It could be determined by Thursday's show. So might be able to break down the quarterfinal matchups by then. So
yeah, should be able to.
Yeah. So you got that. Keep an eye out for a new series that I have dropping. I know I just kind of finished the what ifs. I got a fun one that I've been kind of doing some research on. So, and it's, 1 player for each team. So keep an eye out on that. But gonna be pretty cool. But again, I say it all the time, fellas, but thank you for your support every show. Facebook is giving us a lot of issues with our views, our push, and our engagement's way down for whatever reason. So to have you guys come back every show and support us and what we do, means more than you know, because we are in a rough patch, and it's not just us as creators, it's creators across the board that love doing what they're doing, and we're just not getting much push for it. So and we were killing it, and all of a sudden they slashed us by what, like 80%, Harrison?
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, it's at least 60, 70% at a minimum.
Yeah. So definitely I should try to dress like a Bond villain every show. All right, now I got to come up with a new outfit every show, guys. Thanks. Yeah, no pressure there. But yeah, so you guys coming back every episode, and everybody that watches on YouTube, watches on Facebook, it means so much to us that you guys support us and come and spend your time with us. So don't think we don't take it for granted. So just know how much we appreciate it. But yeah, that's all I got until Thursday. We'll, like I said, recap some WBC and got some more trivia and all that stuff. So we'll see what this week brings in the news department, and we'll break it down on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard.